Are you tired of playing with the Messy spreadsheet and report from MLS when you want it to the housing market for your audience?
Now people ask you, and people every single month, real estate agents will spend hours trying to figure out what is going on with the market. They'll even spend more hours to figure out what is going on for the data that actually turns into helping our clients. It can be exhausting, but you can do this in less than 10 minutes now with the birth of AI, and I love it. And I'm not talking about some robot sounding just explaining to you like blah, 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 blah. No, we're talking about market updates that will make you the smartest person in the room to where you're going to be able to say in 10 minutes, your 10-minute market update, and you're going to be able to use this in your everyday life when you're talking to clients. And that is really the key with this, and it's a game changer for your business.
Exactly. Therefore, I remember days that when the beginning of the month start, I was spending 4 to 5 hours to write this spreadsheet for the different cities that me and my wife, we can do the housing market update
data
for
crunching.
The audience. Exactly.
Now, the big problem with this, it is raw data and it is messy. Now, the MLS gives us everything we need, but you have to be able to read CSV file. And most agents do not read CSV Excel spreadsheet style. They're just looking for deep dive and doing the deep dive because it just takes too long. And we have lives too. You have kids, you have your life to live. So clients don't want to do more than just guessing. So that's what we have to understand. Now we can tell you exactly with this AI, you can look at what's going on in a neighborhood and tell a clear story what the data is there, and you're not losing trust, you're gaining trust, because this is where AI really makes you the go-to person. AI is not here to replace you. It's here to do the boring work so you can do the important work. I think that's a good way to say it.
Therefore, we wanted to give you now the blueprint of the steps that you need to take on, as my wife said, in a very shorter time that me spending 4 to 5 hours just creating that spreadsheet for the housing market update. The first step is really very simple: gathering the raw numbers. This is because you need to have access, which you have, to your local MLS multi-listing and exporting all of the statistic that you see for the area, for the city or the county that you wanted to do the housing market update. And don't worry about making it look pretty yet, no?
Yeah, and you want to just, as long as your CSV file that you're downloading has median sales data, number of new listings, average days on market, month supplies, which is you're probably going to get in your hot list somewhere, because this is going to give us the buyers and sellers market, and you also want to make sure that the CSV gives you the list to sale price ratio. Once you have that simple text, you don't need to format it, you don't need to make a chart. AI is going to do this for you in the next step. So step two.
Therefore, step 2, as my wife said, when you prepare this spreadsheet CSV file, now we come to analysis phases. Means that open up your favorite AI tools. It could be ChatGPT, it could be Gemini, it could be Cloud. This is where the magic actually happens. And instead of just asking a simple question, you're going to give me a specific job, you tell the AI you are a WordPress real estate market analysis, and basically you pasting your data into the chat and give it the detailed prompt.
And then basically you're going to first ask it to, I do have a prompt. I'm happy to send it to anybody who joins me in my upline. I'm happy to send it to you absolutely free at EXP. Plus I got it from Mike Sherrard. So he is just something you also get when you join us at EXP. Now, back to the data. You take your data and you put, basically you're going to ask the MLS, or you're asking your Gemini. I use Gemini, it could be Cloud, could be ChatGPT, doesn't matter. You're gonna say, what are the top 3 trends that matter to home buyers and home sellers right now? Tell it to write a narrative in your simple 8th grade language. Then you want it to sound helpful and not boring. And now, once you have that data, tell it again, use my data and give me a 2-minute video script with a clear call to action, and have that AI turn the raw data into stories, because people love stories.
Exactly.
And it has to be based on our data. So if it might say inventory is up 12%, which means buyers have breathing room. Or it might say homes in this zip code are selling 15% faster than last month, which means they don't have that breathing room. You have to be able to move fast. But this kind of insight makes your clients want to work with you because you're showing up with information and knowledge, and not just sitting there and saying, well, we have to move fast, and not explaining why. So if you can spend a few minutes with that data, asking your AI, asking the AI what kind of things I need to know, and then it can give me the information in a much more tangible way than I can ever get from just looking at a CSV.
Exactly, which brings us to the third step. Now you wanted to, after you got all this data from AI, by the tools and the prompt that you have. Now you need to create a professional visual. Means that a great script is not quite yet there, but you have a visual tools like a Gamma, for example, that you can create a really upscale presentation. And basically, as my wife said, you have the narrative and the scripts, you paste it to this Gamma, and now you're creating professional slides for the housing market.
Now, Gamma, you've already preset your branding, so you don't have to ever set your branding again. Once you set your branding, it's going to remember, and you're just going to continue picking your branding. You don't have to create a PowerPoint presentation. Literally, you can do it all within 2 minutes. You can make sure that you can add your headshot, your logo. Now you have quality presentation if you want to have for your video background, if you want to film yourself giving a presentation on this information that you can then send to clients. Now, this information you can then take the post directly to Instagram or LinkedIn, or you can turn it into a video as well. But this one piece of data means you're getting a whole week's worth of content. You're working harder, not smarter.
Exactly. Now you wanted to work on the buyer psychology. Before we move to the final step, let's talk about why this method that my wife was explaining it works. Real estate is not just about the houses, it's about the people. Therefore, home buyers, home sellers are usually driving by big emotions. And we know that for buyers is often about security, status, and comfort, and they want a safe place that they live with their loved one and sense of the stability. And they wanted a home that reflects the identity and success for them. And they wanted to be able to visualize themselves in that home, in that living space with their family.
Now, AI, once you actually look at the market data, you can see which types of homes are actually selling most often in your area. Maybe they're 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Maybe it's 4-bedroom, 3-bath. Once you have a visual data of what people are looking for or people have been buying recently, now you have something in your head for social media. Be like, oh, people are actually looking for these type of things. I have to double dip on that. Or if you have a presentation, a listing presentation, you need to sell this house. That's even more amazing, because now we're going to make sure that we're writing our listing description based on buyers' feelings and what they might be looking for. You have the data from the MLS, you have your listing, and now we want to make sure that your description taps into the feelings and taps into what people are actually looking for when it comes to AI. So it creates it helps us understand what they're looking for, to where even if we're not touching the photos visually with the virtual staging, you can do that with AI as well, but you want to make sure that you're keeping the house there, but understanding their psychology, because that's really going to help us with the better listing descriptions and being able to have your listing found in AI, which is what people are going to say there. Now let's go the opposite with sellers.
Exactly. Now we want to talk about the seller psychology. Sellers are even more emotional than the home buyers. They're often guided by the past, their memories in the house that they were living. They think the home is worse than more because they love it so much and they compare it always, and their basically idea is biased, as we know. And this is when a seller relies too heavily on the first price that they have in their head. No?
Right. So AI can help you if you have a listing presentation, how to handle that kind of emotion and acknowledge their feelings and be a little bit more objective with the data to show the reality. So we're taking the AI, we're taking the MLS data, we're showing them the data and how their house fits into the data while acknowledging their feelings. And nobody can argue with data or facts, so we have to turn those listing presentations into being a little bit more collaborative and being more realistic and saying, this is what the data tells us, and here's the CSV. And we're building trust by having these type of information. It's all at the touch of a button now. You do not have to struggle for this. You don't have to go to 20 people to get this information. You can actually get it all from that MLS and that CSV file there.
Now, after this psychology of the buyer and seller, we wanted to tap into distribution and winning, which is step number 4. This last step is get your message out there to the world. And you have your script, as we said, you have your slide from Gamma and your data backed insight that you gathered all, you put it all to actually in motion. Now you can record a video using your phone, your webcam, and use the script from AI that wrote for you as your guide.
And then you can send this market update with an email to your database. You can then also have it give you social media posts on this. You can actually have a whole blog written for your website to stay top of mind when your clients are actually, or new clients are looking and they want to be able to find you. So other people are talking about how to get a system started, but we are talking about a whole system that is driven by data. And the AI enhanced agent is going to beat the traditional agent, especially over time, because it means you have to look at how this looks in your daily life.
Exactly. Therefore, we wanted to talk, imagine being, for example, you at the open house and someone asks you, how's the housing market? And instead of saying, well, I think the market is moving, or I think the interest rate got better and people that start shopping for the house, now you have an answer for them.
Right, you have your immediate answer that you can either say to themselves, or you can say, hey, I'm happy to show you my market update that I just sent to my clients. Prices are up 4%, inventory is up 12%. Basically, you say something like that because you're there. And then you can say, hey, I can text you the summary, I can text you my email that I sent people, I can send it to you right now. Also, when sellers are talking about pricing strategy, you're not just pulling out comps, you're just also going to look at the micro trends as well. So you're looking at those houses, you can say, okay, this one has updated kitchens and this sold for 7% more than your kitchen because it still has the laminate and it still has the white. So we're looking at the competitive edge that AI gives you because it can now look for the micro trends within those MLS and within the data. So you want to make sure that our real estate agent is always, our real estate industry is moving fast. AI is even moving even faster than that, but it is a tool that we have to utilize. And that's why understanding creating yourself a 10-minute market update means that you are doing the manual effort to have a strategic leverage in your market. And you are becoming the source of wisdom and knowledge for your clients, which is they want, which is how you're going to win, because you're going to embrace the tech.
Therefore, you go and please implement this into your workflow today, and that will be the blend that you need to blend your heart, the human heart, with the AI brain. That combination is going to do a magic for you.
Yeah. So don't forget to grab in the MLS. Hey, book a call with me and I'm happy to talk to you all about my prompting with AI, absolutely in our call. But basically you want to make sure that you are subscribed, become a supporter of our channel, and I can't wait to see you again.
Exactly.